we would know from many pages of Scripture that God is and is driven by love. As 1 John 4:8 says, anyone who does not love doesn't even know God, because God is love. All that God does is an expression of love. Even his anger is an expression of love, because his anger is defending his glory and the creation that he made. It is a good thing for him to be angry because it is a loving thing to do. It's a protective thing to do. But I want you to hypothesize one more thing. Imagine, what if God was an unloving God? What if he was an uncaring God? We explore this in a lot of our literature throughout the ages, a lot of our media. I used to be, sort of still am, a bit of an old school Star Trek fan. Kirk, Spock, McCoy, like that crew. I grew up on them. I watched every episode. I had every book. I was a nut for the old Star Trek show. In fact, this past summer, my family and I went to Ticonderoga here in New York, and they have the original series set tour. And you can go through a recreation of all the sets of the original Enterprise. My daughter and I, who are big Star Trek fans, were like, ooh, this is so cool. The rest of my family are like, yeah, okay. It's a wall. It's another wall. Well, yeah, okay. But it was so thrilling for us, right? I love this show. I found a lot of inspiration as a kid from this show. But I will tell you that about half of the episodes of the old Star Trek series are Kirk and the Enterprise encountering what they think is a god. There's so many of these episodes. They keep coming up again and again. They come up to a force that proclaims to them or insinuates that it is God. It is very powerful. It can do magical things, things beyond science can explain. But they start figuring out that this entity, whatever it is never God. And they know that. They instinctively know that, because whatever this entity is always very petty, is always very vengeful, and it is never, ever loving. And I thought that is an amazing testimony to the truth of Scripture that they were no doubt not even trying to make. But the gods that we have created in this world, the Roman gods, the Greek gods, the gods of other religions, aren't love the way that our God is. Our God is the only God who loved sinners while they were still sinners, who died for sinners while they were still sinners, who did not require us to be perfect before calling us to himself.